Our next 5 speakers: Kathy Faye, Aaron, Marianne Miller, Kim Thompson, and Bob Alexander. Okay, we'll get first.
My name is Kathy Gray, and I'm a 75 show recorder. Come from Lacey. Today, to speak for Pierce County. I didn't have a chance to write up a little speech or anything, but I'm probate, and I just wanted to share my story with you. I felt very ill several years ago, and after going to several doctors over a period of 3 years, I finally, with no one being able to give me a diagnosis, no one being able to help me, I kept reaching out. I finally found one, and she was awesome, and she did all this research on the internet for me, spent hours, thought she might have found what I have, but didn't feel that she could me. Found some specialists in San Francisco, so my family helped me gather the money for me to San Francisco, where I met these specialists. I was diagnosed with a couple of horrific diseases, and then I was told by my doctors in San Francisco that they couldn't begin to even try to treat me unless I quit smoking, which was the hardest thing for me to do. Been smoking for 42 years. So I started researching the personal vaporizers and had several discussions in my doctors in San Francisco as well as my doctor here. Checked into them too, and although they can't prescribe them as cessation, they said go for it. And so my first experience vaping, I have not turned back. I have not had a cigarette since, and I am on my way to recovery. I started vaping 9 months ago, and before this illness, I've had asthma all my life, and of course, as you get older, it gets worse and worse. So I have been smoke-free for the past 9 months and asthma-free for the past 7 months, and was able to join a middle-aged ladies jazz dance class and get some exercise, and I have never felt better, and the personal vaporizers have saved my life, and I'm very grateful to both my doctors for all of their support. Very proud of me, thrilled for me, continue to work with me, and I just hope you don't put me back outside with all the people smoking the stinkies and making me deal with their secondhand smoke and get me sick again, because that is not what's going on here. And I'll end it by just saying, did you know that propylene glycol is one of the ingredients in my asthma medications that I no longer have to take anymore? Thank you.
My name's Aaron. I'm from Tacoma-Pierce. I also drove down here like a few other people. Most of what I had to say has already been said. The issue is the secondhand smoke. I understand that, but there's no real testing showing anything dangerous yet, so wait for that. One of the things that wasn't talked about is the free samples. You're not allowed to do that. That's a regulation, just like it's a tobacco product. The e-cigs are being demonized without any real proof or evidence before they're even known. They're basically just being thrown in there with cigarettes. So that's a concern I have. It's one of the things I wanted to point out, that you can't just lump them in with cigarettes. And it's not like people are going to be giving free samples out to kids. I have $3. I don't want somebody giving them cigarettes. It's not, or the e-cigs. It's not going to happen. And everybody agrees that we should regulate it, not regulate it in a way of requiring an ID, 18 and older only, that kind of thing. Now, the only other thing I have to say is, it wouldn't surprise me if these regulations were passed after everything you've heard. It wouldn't surprise me at all. But if you do move forward with it, at least consider, like it used to be in bars, 18 and places where you have to have an ID to go in, you have to be 21. There's a little freedom there. Consider that. No children are going to be in there. That's all I have to say.
Hello, I'm Mary Ann Miller. I'm with the Lakewood Chamber of Commerce. I live at 3574 East End. The chamber is located at 4650 Stillicum Boulevard Southwest. I'm here to present to you a policy position that we adopted May 12th of this year. The Board of Directors of the Lakewood Chamber of Commerce unanimously opposed the latest e-cigarette ban proposed in public places recommended by the Tacoma-Pierce County Health Department. This nicotine delivery system has not been proven a danger regarding secondhand vapor. If the proposed ruling is put into effect, adults will no longer be able to vape within any public space within Pierce County. This regulation not only affects vaping in bars and restaurants, more and more apartment complexes and HOAs are banning smoking within the confines of individual homes and patio areas. That would lead to no vaping in your own space. We request that the Board of Health not undermine the rights of adults to make their own choices in how they choose their cigarette cessation activities. Thank you.
Hello, thank you for having us all here tonight. We appreciate this opportunity to talk to you. My name is Kim Thompson. I live at 212 South 32nd Street in Tacoma. I am the owner of the Vaporium, an electronic cigarette store, which does not allow minors into the shop. I have never sold this product to a non-smoker, nor have we ever sold this product to a child. First, I want to start off by saying that I would like you to amend Chapter 9 of the Environmental Health Code to remove Section 9, Chapter 9 to remove Section 9 regarding the use of electronic smoking devices, and to amend it to speak to only the sale and to minors and the use on school property, which we already do regulate ourselves. So a little bit about myself. I was a 23-year smoker. Lived with a non-smoker, married to a non-smoker. Tried several ways to quit, like many people in this room, to absolutely no success. Found the electronic cigarette about a year and a month ago, and it was so impactful to me and my ability to be able to quit smoking that I opened the shop. I opened the shop not, as Dr. Chin may have pointed out in the newspaper, not to make a ton of money, but to spread the good news and the good health. Everywhere I went, in public, because that's where people see people, I was asked how this device worked, if it worked for me to help me put down the cigarettes. It was because I was able to give free samples to adults in bars that they were willing to try this. If I was relegated to outside, a lot of people would not have bothered to try this cigarette. Since I have been open since January, we have helped probably close to 350 people put down their cigarettes. We have a 60 to 70% success rate of people either quitting altogether or are on their path to quitting. I'm concerned if this is banned in public places and if you send all of these people back outside with the smokers, that they will potentially have a weak moment and start that terrible habit again. The nicotine that is contained inside of cigarettes is combined with many other chemicals, 4,000 to 9,000 chemicals, that make that nicotine more addictive than it is inside of an electronic cigarette. Many of my users don't even use nicotine in their electronic cigarette. So I would like to ask you to have thoughtful regulation in considering the ban of electronic cigarettes. Thank you.
My name is Bob Alexander. I came down from Seattle. I smoked cigarettes for 44 years, and for the last 36 of those years, I tried to quit many times. I was one of the many smokers, the 75% of smokers who try to quit fail. But I quit smoking 14 months ago, the day my electronic cigarette arrived in the mail. I was finally able to quit without any of the cravings that plagued ex-smokers for years after their last cigarette. Over the last 14 months, I've seen people who had smoked for 30, 40, and over 50 years stop smoking effortlessly using electronic cigarettes. The FDA testing, in spite of its press statement, failed to find harmful levels of carcinogens or toxic levels of any chemicals in electronic cigarette vapor. On the other hand, Professor Carl Phillips of the University of Alberta School of Public Health, where much of his research focuses on tobacco harm reduction, said, if a smoker can manage to switch from smoking to electronic cigarettes, the benefits are approximately the same as quitting. Switching is so close to quitting that from a health point of view, there is no point in worrying about the difference. We all know secondhand smoke is harmful, but what about the nicotine in secondhand vapor from electronic cigarettes? According to Health New Zealand, an electronic cigarette with a 16 milligram per milliliter cartridge of nicotine delivers 0.053 milligrams of nicotine per puff, and 98% of that is absorbed, leaving 2% to be exhaled. If somehow someone standing next to me could inhale 100% of my secondhand vapor, after 9 or 10 puffs they would receive the equivalent amount of nicotine found in a serving of eggplant. There are concerns that the use of electronic smoking devices in public places and places of employment would increase social acceptance of smoking. In other words, if I took out my electronic cigarette, which looks a great deal like a magic marker, that might cause a smoker to light up a cigarette. In my experience, however, over the last 14 months, that's never happened. What has happened is numerous times people come up to me, ask me for more information about e-cigarettes and where they can get one because they're desperately trying to quit smoking. I too would like to see a ban on marketing and selling electronic cigarettes to minors, but I would also like to see smokers encouraged to use electronic cigarettes in public places, not punished. Smokers should be informed about a product that is 10 times more effective in quitting smoking than the patch of the gum. A product that is essentially harmless to smokers and those around them. Thank you.
Our next batch of commentators, Chuck Powers, Kenneth Cox, Sarah Dixon, and Matt. Yes, last person signing. Thank you.
Good evening. First I'd like to say, Kim, you're my hero. I've got new glasses and I can't see with them or without. My name is Kenneth Cox, and I've been a mortgage banker for 34 years and a resident of Pierce County for a little longer than that. For the last, well, I'm going to skip that. You know, I thought I was going to retire a banker, and after receiving injury serving my country, I developed a long-lasting battle with alcoholism, which I overcame. My wife of multiple decades was diagnosed with 4-stage colon cancer and was told that she had 4 months to live. She was extremely pleased that I was able to quit drinking, but she could not understand why I was spending good money to die of lung cancer. Heidi would say, I didn't choose my disease. You're choosing yours. Then my daughter introduced me to a smoking alternative called vaporizing. I have worked with the military teaching our VA benefits for over 30 years, and I have stayed physically fit. Most of my friends were 25, 30 years younger than myself. However, I was still unable to quit smoking. I smoked 30 to 45 cigarettes